again, Scotty here, and today we have something really different for you. This is Big Bird, the 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500 cargo van with a 144-inch wheelbase. What a handy vehicle. It's a little different than what we typically test around here, but they offered to bring it to me, and I needed to go haul some stuff, so it actually worked out pretty well. This thing is really pretty amazing. It'll haul lots of people, I should say lots of stuff. Got a 4x8 sheet of thin wood here in the back for a project that I'm working on. As you can see, swallowed that up with no problem. It has the sunroofs in the top, has the LED lighting. It also has lighting on all the steps. Speaking of the steps, one of my few issues with this thing is a little step or a fold-out step of some kind would be kind of handy because it's a little hard to step up into. The step is a little higher than what you would typically probably like to see. Has sliding cargo doors on both sides that are electrically controlled, articulated cargo doors in the back. Lots of handy little features like storage in the doors. Tie downs all over this thing. I mean, literally they're tie downs. There's tracks on the floors as well and on the walls. Yeah, like I said, it'll haul a lot of stuff. This thing is, the base price is $34,990. As tested was $55,833. Can't talk today as usual. Has a ton of options on it. I can't go through them all because it will take longer than I have, but probably one of the longest list of options that I've seen on a vehicle in a long time. The high roof option is $2,700 by itself, which is very handy. I don't know how tall this thing is exactly, but it's really, really tall, taller than what I felt comfortable taking through a drive-through. So I didn't do that. I'll tell you a little bit about what it's like to drive here in a minute. We're going to get behind the wheel. Probably a little better than what you might expect. You see some of my junk in the background. Didn't mean to show you that. Got lots of nice, thoughtful features in the dash. The controls are all very plain and easy to use. It has some very nice features that you would expect to see in almost any vehicle today. It has the following cruise control, the lane departure assist. I didn't care for the lane departure assist in this thing. It tends to kind of pump the brakes and jerk the wheel. I don't know how to describe it exactly. Has electrically controlled seats, car driving by, it's a truck, heated seats, and again, this thing is massive. I found the seats to be very, very comfortable, much more so than you might think. You could actually spend quite a bit of time driving this thing and be very comfortable with it. They use these for limos and motorhomes, and I can see why. If you can drive a Suburban, you can drive this with no problems. So let's strap the camera on and go for a drive, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. And we're back. We're now inside the 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500 cargo van with a 144-inch wheelbase. It's powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo gas engine with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Has a 4:18:1 axle ratio. Has a GVWR of 9,050 pounds. 22-gallon fuel tank. It doesn't show what the fuel mileage is, but I would tell you the fuel mileage is not bad. I drove it into Houston to pick up some cargo and brought it back, and as always, I give this thing a full workout. We nicknamed it Big Bird. It's in calcite yellow, which, well, I don't know exactly how to describe it, folks, but it looks like a big yellow rental van is what it looks like. As I said, it's actually much nicer to drive than you might think, okay? And well, let's go drive it. Let's see if I can swap this thing around. No. Well, anyway, you're going to get to look at me. I couldn't find my GoPro. I don't know where my GoPro got off to. It's disappeared. My guess is one of my kids used it for something. And we're going to, for a brief drive. This thing has a very high center of gravity, as you might imagine. I'm not sure exactly how tall it is, but I know it's very, very tall. The driving experience isn't bad. It actually has a fairly supple suspension. It absorbs the bumps pretty well. I went into one of the corners near here, over on 149, a little faster than I probably should have yesterday, and my wife kind of gasped a little bit, but it handled it just fine, not a problem. Certainly not a sports car. If I had to drive this thing every day, could I live with it? The answer is yes, I could. I actually kind of like it. It has a lot of utility. There's a lot of things that I could do with this thing. If it was mine, I'd put a trailer hitch on the back, and I'd be doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it. As I said, not bad to drive on the road. You can feel there's a little bit of sway here and there. The Steering is very tight. The turning circle is much tighter than you might imagine. In spite of the bulk and the heft of this thing, it will fit in a standard parking place at a shopping center, McDonald's, or whatnot, which was a little bit surprising to me. When you floor it, well, as you can see, it ain't no sports car, folks, but it's not meant to be. I am curious about the towing capacity. I didn't see it in the documentation that I have, so I wonder how we do towing a trailer. Not sure if there's an optional engine, but we're going to look all that stuff up and have that in our written report here shortly. Has a decent sound system in it. When you turn it up, it's a little bit trebly, but that's okay. That's probably what you want in a vehicle like this, because there's a fair amount of noise. As you can hear up in the front, it's fairly quiet. There's some wind noise in the back, as you would expect, as this thing really doesn't have a lot of insulation and paneling in it. I'm sure there's all kinds of great stuff out there to upfit this thing. I've driven not only this, but also the FCA competitor, one from Nissan, Ford's Transit, etc., etc. And so I think I can give you a fairly good comparison. I really like the way this drives better, particularly compared to the FCA competitor. I really didn't like the way that vehicle drove. I think it drives nice. It drives like a smaller vehicle than what you would expect. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a vehicle that'll do all kinds of stuff and haul stuff, maybe the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is for you. I want to remind you, folks, that we are GarageDLX.fm. You can also find us at GarageDLX.com. Also, on all the various social media platforms at GarageDLX. We do Tales from the Garage every Saturday with Scotty, Nathan, and Jesus. We broadcast the show from noon to 2 and 7 to 9 p.m. And then we rebroadcast every weekday from noon to 2 p.m. Stooges of the automotive world, three wild and crazy car guys, and there you have it, the 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500. See you again next week with something else. I think it'll be, well, it's a surprise, but I think you're going to like it.